So we have arrived to our final stop on this train, episode 7, the series finale of Run. What did I think about the finale? What did I think about the season as a whole? Well, we're going to talk about that and much more. Episode 7 was titled Trick, season finale. With the end of their journey approaching, Ruby and Billy consider their future together. Are they finally being honest with each other? Babe and Laurel are forced together as they follow a new lead. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Movie Files. Elliot back again with my weekly review, or my last review for the season finale, episode 7 of Run. We're going to break it all down, but before we dive into it, as you can see on the screen now, make sure you follow me on all my other social media accounts. If you're new to this channel, definitely consider subscribing, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my new videos. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, really helps out the channel, but I also really appreciate it. And if and when you've seen this season finale of Run, let me know what you all thought of it. Let's talk about the season, our favorite moments, and is there a possibility of a season 2? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So, yeah, this has been a 7-week journey. I've been reviewing every single episode. There's been a lot of, highs and lows with this show. It is a rom-com at the end of the day with a little bit of thriller elements, a little bit of, suspense there and here and there. And like I said, if you guys, this is your first time tuning in to one of my reviews, check out my other previous 6 reviews I've done in the show. But again, it's been a little bit of an up and down slope with me in regards to just the overall entertainment package of this show. But talking about, we'll leave that towards the end of this review, but just talking about this individual episode, 25 minutes, they wrapped up things pretty quickly in regards to, we started off, first off, it's snowing. Last week, it wasn't in last week's episode. I can't even think of the town they were in, but, they jump on that potato truck, they're still on the run, it was kind of weird, right? And that's something we've been talking about for the last few weeks in regards to the characteristics of these characters regarding their headspace. They're thinking they're getting away with murder. They think they're going to live their lives happily ever after. Again, my biggest issue with this show, and this goes with this episode, but just overall in the season, as every episode progressed, I became less and less interested in the characters because they were so unlikable. I know there's been a lot of you all that's been watching my reviews and having some great conversation with you all, and I know some people are definitely team Billy all day versus Ruby, because obviously, with Ruby, she has a little bit more to lose, right? Her family, her husband, her kids, and it seems like that didn't really matter to her at times, especially when it came to her husband. And then with Billy, I know some of you all, I think it's more of a bias of being a Domhnall Gleeson fan versus the character Billy, but I've never was a fan of Billy. Just from jump, you knew that he was a jerk and all his scheming and all the stuff that he lied about in his books and just being a yes man. And essentially, he's not a decision maker. He lets other people influence his decisions, and both of the characters, like I said, as the season went on, I just became less interested in them, and honestly, I just want to see how it was going to end, but I didn't really think that it was going to be a happy ending, and honestly, I didn't want them to have a happy ending, because honestly, they're terrible people, not in their whole life, but in the confines of this show. Again, what Billy did with his career and just being lying, and the whole relationship with Fiona, and obviously what happened with her, and then again, this happens all the time. This isn't like this show is making new ground in regards to, wives and mothers leaving their family to do this spontaneous thing. Like again, I can, sympathize with the idea of, you're fed up with your life, but you made your bed, you have to sleep in it. You can't just walk out on your family and just think you're going to meet, your old fling from 15 years ago and just have a happy life. So, as I digress, we'll talk about that at the end. But this episode, again, we catch up with Babe and Laurel and the whole, letting Daniel get away and having the phone. That all plays out. The best moment of this episode for me was when when she's on the train. We have Ruby on the train with Billy, and he's, they're doing the whole, looking at the laptop, and she's going to look at one of his videos, and she looks at his email. She's like, of course she looks at his email, right? So she looks at it, opens up, she sees the unread email, she sees the video about the whole Run idea, which, that moment was the realest moment that I've actually kind of didn't feel bad for her, but that was like the most authentic moment I've seen from Ruby, because everything else, she's been just kind of living in La La Land with Billy in regards to thinking that she was going to start his life with him, and she said that she was going to pick him over her family. Again, I was just like, I don't like these characters, so it was just like, of course she's going to leave her family. But that moment when she looks at Billy and says, he says, I love you, and she says, you do, huh? And it's like, I didn't think you was capable of that, but you really are. And that was the most authentic thing that she's done in this show, because again, it just kind of shows you that finally she's waking up from this dream fantasy life that she wants to be with Billy. So we see all that play out, and and I said it last week. I know some of you all didn't agree with me, but the chemistry between Babe and Laurel, played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge, I actually, in 2 episodes, I like those characters more, and not just because they are more likable characters. I just like their chemistry more than I like with Merritt Wever and Domhnall Gleeson. As I said in the very first episode, I am a huge fan of those 2 talented actors, but I just felt like the likability factor just wasn't there for me, especially as every episode went by. But again, the detective and Laurel, the taxidermist, I would have preferred a season with them more so than I did with Billy. But, we see that play out, and they, she goes to the bathroom, calls the cop. Of course, perfect time. The cop's able to catch up with them. They're on a train, and she's in a car. And logically, yes, she was in. It's snowing, so she was able to catch up with them, perfectly timed, whatever, that happens, convenience in TV shows. But, they get off the train, and this is supposed to be the pivotal moment of the show, of the season, and it just fell so flat with me. We see, Billy's calling Ruby, and Ruby sees they see each other, but then her husband Lawrence and 2 kids walk up, and she says, "Hi, oh, hey kids, I missed you, even though I was going to leave you for my fling of 15 years ago." But, they have that moment. And Billy and Lawrence meet, and he says hi to the kids, whatever. Again, this whole scene just fell flat for me. And she, the pivotal moment, Billy asks her to kind of choose, even though he knows he's going to get arrested, go through everything with the murder of Fiona. But he says, "I just need you to let me know that I love you." She doesn't say anything, walks away. End of the episode. Now, again, is there going to be a season 2? I doubt it. But I personally wouldn't be invested in season 2 just because, again, these characters are not likable. But just if this is the series finale, we never get another episode of this show. What an underwhelming. Again, some of you all know have been really enjoying this show. It's been a fun thrill ride. It's a rom-com thriller suspense type of show. More of, to me, the romantic comedy elements are more highlighted than the thriller suspenseful elements, except for like the last 3 or 4 episodes, or 2 or 3 episodes. But, again, my last week's episode I thought was my favorite episode of the season, just because it introduced that, that chemistry that we got with Babe, Cloud, and Laurel. But, this season, guys, just kind of wrap it up. Again, I wasn't a fan of this episode. I thought the finale was not that great. I thought it was underwhelmed. The questions that they pose at the end in regards to, does she love him? Does she know that he loves her? It just felt completely flat. And we're just assuming that the police are going to take him in, and whatever comes of it, comes of it. Again, I don't know if they'll do a season 2. I wouldn't watch a season 2. If you want a season 2, that's awesome. Who knows if they'll get one? I don't know what the buzz is for the show. I think I'm the only person that's been reviewing this show on YouTube, and I've been having a blast doing so. By all means, the interactions with you all have been fantastic. But overall thoughts of this season, again, there was some hit or miss episode. Well, more misses for me personally. Last week was my favorite, and then a couple episodes ago was pretty solid. I wasn't a fan of them being on the train. I know you guys liked the chemistry that they had and the back and forth on the train. When they were on the train, to me, that was some of the most dullest dialogue, and the whole, do you love me, do you not, let's have sex, let's not have sex. And then when they finally got off the train, that's when it got interesting to me. When they went to Chicago, the hotel, meeting Fiona, obviously the stuff that happened at the farm, that was when the show kind of really picked up for me. But the first 3 or 4 episodes were just kind of really generic to me and just not that great. Again, Merritt Wever, fantastic actress. I cannot wait to see what she's going to be in next. A show that I watched with her, it was last year, Unbelievable, and seeing her and all the stuff she's in. She's just a great actress, and I can't wait to see her again. But this show, she didn't really do it for me. And the same goes with Domhnall Gleeson. I'm a huge Domhnall Gleeson fan. Fantastic actor. Seeing him and everything he's been in. But this show, just overall, just looking at it as a whole, and including the season finale, this wasn't my type of show, guys. At the end of the day, again, I reviewed all of them, and again, there were some I like, a lot of them I didn't like. There were some funny moments, there were some not so funny moments. I think at the end of the day, for me, if you can't give me, I'm okay with having characters in shows that aren't likable, because that makes it more complex, that makes it more interesting. But then when you give me our main characters, both of our main characters are so kind of unlikable and are doing like super irresponsible things, it's just hard to feel the emotion, because if you're not rooting for them, what is the point of watching the show, and what is the point of this happy ending and knowing if Ruby loves Billy and Billy needs to know that Ruby loves her? It doesn't work for me because I don't like the characters. But as I digress, again, this was a fun review last 7 weeks. Interacting with you all have been fantastic. If you're not already, check out my reviews that I've been doing for I Know This Much Is True. I believe there's a couple other shows coming in the next couple of weeks on HBO, and HBO is one of my favorite, premium channels out there. We got HBO Max coming in a couple days, so keep an eye out for some more reviews I have for the show or for this network, and seeing what HBO Max has to offer. But final thoughts, again, this should have been a movie versus a show. Honestly, they could have cut out a lot of the stuff that they did in this show, and they just could have made it a hour-and-a-half movie, and I could have been fine with that versus this 7-episode, 30-minute episode show. So that's just my final thoughts. But again, let me know what you all thought about this show. What are some shows you're looking forward to with HBO or HBO Max? What other shows should I be reviewing? Make sure you check out my reviews that I've done for some Netflix shows, Hulu shows most recently. I had a fantastic watch along over the weekend. I plan on having my very first Q&A Ask Me Everything or Ask Me Anything this coming weekend. So if you're not already, make sure you're checking my community tab on the YouTube channel so you can know what's coming up next, where I'm going to be, whether it be guest spots on other content creators' channels. So definitely check out the community tab. But again, thank you for watching these reviews. Keep an eye out for some more reviews. Hope you all are doing good, and we'll see you soon.